Hello and welcome to the Projector Project. My name is Diederik. I'm a 5'1" splenic projector here to talk to you about the power and depth of the projector guidance and aura. So let's jump right in. As I mentioned, I'm a 5'1" splenic projector here with channel 4426. That's how I incarnated here, and that's how I am designed to provide guidance to others. Now, for those of you who are seasoned in human design, or for those of you that are new, all of us know how much information there is in this system. And the idea is to take all the nuances of the design to get a more complete picture of how we're designed to be, what makes us different, because human design is the science of differentiation, and to celebrate and hone in and embody those differences to be our unique masterpieces that we truly are. So when it comes to being a projector, now I'm 37 years old. I've used to work in a corporate environment, and when I turned 29 during my Saturn return, I was called to take a different path. And so now being 37, over 7 years of really, like I said, carving my own path. And even though I'm a 5'1", one of the things I notice is I have a lot of line 3 activations in my chart. Meaning, line 3 is all about finding out what works and doesn't work. It's being the pioneer. Right? It's learning from trial and error. It's having life bump into you. So that's what I did. And just before this journey took place, just before I went on this going off the trodden path of, going to university and being in a corporate environment, I was introduced to human design. And right away, being a projector, looking back at my life and, reviewing my lived experience, I realized how powerful the projector aura really is. Being seen by a projector is something special. Even as a projector, being with another projector, being seen, being recognized, having what makes me unique and what makes my contribution unique be put into words by someone else is something special. And being able to provide that and do that for someone else, that's special too. It's magic. Now, when it comes to our aura, right? Our aura is meant to penetrate into other people so we can read where their energy is at. And depending on which centers you have defined in your chart, meaning colored in your chart, what strengths you have, what you're meant to focus on. Are you here to empower yourself and others? Are you here to support your tribe and be supported in return through a fair bargain and exchange of services? Or are you here to share your logic and your experiences with the collective? Now, this is what I do when I work with human design, particularly on the career and business application side of human design through the BG5 of Business Institute. I have been following their education, now finalizing my 5th semester of the BG5 Business Consultant certification. Sounds really fancy, but really comes down to, for me, especially being in that corporate environment, I was always so focused on other people, like projectors are. They say when we find out about human design, if you're a generator or manifesting generator, the first thing you want to do is look at your own chart. When you're a projector, look at other people's charts. Look at your ex-lovers, your family, your siblings, your best friends. Look at their chart and see what you notice. Now, when I look back, like I said, one of the things that I love about human design is that, I still love the Myers-Briggs type indicators, the MBTI, the 16 personalities. That's something that really called to me, and I love it, and I have friends that use it in a very specific way that makes it very valuable and powerful. One of the things I missed was the practicality of this system, having this understanding of how you operate mechanically, because it is all mechanical. And so even when I'm studying the career and business application through the BG5 Business Institute, we're engineers. We are auric engineers. We are business engineers. Now, again, going back and understanding how powerful this aura is, particularly one-on-one. As projectors, that's very powerful. We were able to work one-on-one, taking someone in and just holding that space. Now, again, I'm here to share my strength. My strength tells me that I'm here to support my tribe and be supported in return. I'm able and designed to listen and to hear and have people tell me their secrets through one of my activations, to be able to provide practical solutions through my study and understanding not only of the human design system, but also just of how people operate, and then be able to provide those practical solutions from that. And so many other nuances, like my cognition being feeling, be able to really feel where someone's at. In my body, I can feel someone else. And I find that, now using this system in a career environment, in a business environment, right now here, working on a project at the moment, going into a existing business, a business with a physical location, being able to go there and do one-on-one sessions and just finding the transformation that happens both on a business front, both on the, in the business realm, understanding your career better, your role better, right? What is your job and what's not your job? And be able to guide that process just by asking questions. And that's the beauty of a projector as well. Our superpower is to be able to ask questions. But then also knowing that, of course, this information isn't just for work, it's for life, right? It translates to relationships, and then being able, especially in these conversations I've had this past week, to be able to have my clients tell me, this has helped me with my relationship, this has helped me with my marriage, this has helped me with understanding my, my sibling better, my mother better, my father better, my kids better. And one of the beautiful things that I was able to facilitate this week, it was a physical meeting of multiple people I was working with on a one-on-one setting, and just creating the space and focus on communication and how everybody's designed to communicate with each other based on their design, and just being able to open it up and facilitate that communication, and knowing that, at least through human design, it's not personal, it's mechanical. And that awareness and that change in communication is massive. It changes it from being like, why aren't you like me? Through human design being like, wow, this is me, and oh, what are you? How are you different? Now, I'm referring to human design right now, and I'm just giving you practical examples, but what I find is just, I'm sitting in a corporate environment having a one-on-one session, and someone's in tears. Not just because of that deep understanding through the human design, but knowing as a projector, I'm deeply seeing someone. I'm deeply hearing someone. So if you are a projector out there and you're listening to this, know how powerful you are, not just in what you say, the advice you give once invited, once recognized, but your presence alone is magnetic. It's powerful. So one of the things I noticed practically, I remember being with my manifesting generator friend, and she was, babysitting a kid, and we were on the soccer field, and other kids joined in. And I, as the projector, just kind of stayed on the side. I didn't look for recognition. I didn't look for an invitation. I just kind of stayed quiet. But my presence was there. I didn't say anything. And I noticed within maybe 5 solid minutes of just being there and not looking for anything, not looking for attention, not looking to be validated or recognized, I was being invited, I was being seen, and I was being recognized. Like, we're powerful. Projectors are powerful. Having a projector in your life is a powerful thing. Now, I also know when we share our wisdom and what we see without being invited, that can be really tough. I had a session earlier this week with a client, and she's just like, she was hurting because she was saying, I'm older. I want to talk to my kids and my grandchildren, but I'm just not being heard when I share. And she's like, I have things to share. I see things, and I reminded her, like, your presence is powerful. Your value doesn't come from the information you share. It comes first and foremost from your presence, and then just wait to be invited. And in a way, this is my view, as a projector, you're always invited to ask questions. Now, the very good questions that you can ask are the ones where people are like, first of all, they say that's a good question. And typically it's a good question because it's something that hasn't been thought of before. It's a perspective that hasn't been covered before, either by the ego, or that it runs off of the narrative, or just not something that people have been thinking about. And I find that that's where my power comes in as a projector, to be able to really feel when things shift in someone. Now, I'm really curious what all of you feel, how you see yourself show up in your work life, in your personal life, in your relationships, how you are really able to tap into what it means to be a projector, and the gift of your presence, and the wisdom of the invited advice, or potentially if you're running into feeling like you don't belong. And that's one thing I've noticed, guys. Like, I had a projector ask me, like, what if you're not being asked and not being invited? Even when you're just, like, just sitting there and being present, like, what if the invitation never comes? I'm thinking about it now. There are two things. One, wait a little longer. And sometimes the invitation, there's not that many, but the ones that come at the right time can be so powerful. I even remember reading somewhere that said, and I don't know if it was Ra that said it, Ra being, the original channel through which human design came into the world. I don't know if he was the one who said it, but it was something on the lines of, like, the projector life is marked by one or two big invitations in personal life and in professional life that will really shift the life of the projector. So it's not quantity, but it's quality. That's one. And also, going back to what I was saying earlier, you're always I think you're always invited to ask questions, but ask them when it comes to invitations, ask them with no agenda. Ask them with genuine curiosity. So the way I do it is, like, I really sit back and I listen, and I'm just like, I repeat back what I hear to let people know I'm listening. And especially when I'm quiet, and I take that as my unconscious earth, is the 24, this ability when in silence to have this creativity and invention that just comes in a moment, be able to tap into the right question at the right time. Or through my 22, my left ear, be able to hear something, be able to hear that grace and that openness that coming from my heart to ask the question that can shift someone. We're always open to doing that. Now, depending on who's in front of you, should you be asking yes and no questions? Or should you be asking open questions? Now, this depends on the design, right? So many things to consider. When it comes to, again, what do you do when you're not getting the invitations? One, making sure that you're waiting for the invitation, also always being invited, I think, to ask the question, particularly when you're one-on-one with someone, like they're there with you. To me, that's an invitation. And you're being recognized, otherwise you're not there. The second thing is, if you're not getting invitations, then maybe you're not with the right people. One of the things they tell us is that, and what I tell my clients as well, you need to be surrounded by energetically healthy people. That's the key to the success as a projector. So if you're not getting invitations, then you're with the wrong group of friends. Maybe in the wrong job. And can be a painful truth, but it also opens up the opportunity for change. Because I can tell you right now, especially when I left that corporate realm, going out and traveling and finding my tribe, again, being that tribal energy in my chart. There's individual energy, tribal energy, and collective energy circuits running through your chart. For me, it's tribe. Finding my tribe and getting that deep recognition, it's changed my life. And I always say to my clients, to my tribe, it's like, you have to do the inner work on your own to make those powerful shifts, but you don't have to walk that journey alone. Your tribe is with you always. So if this resonates with you, then maybe you're a tribe person, and maybe I'm your tribe. And I say, hi, tribe, because I'm talking to my tribe. If you're still listening to this and my voice resonates with you, there's something about my voice, then you're my tribe. And if you're my tribe, then knowing that anybody else that resonates with me, well, they're probably your tribe too. So with this, I leave you, my friends. Please comment, share your experiences with this, being a projector in work and life, in your private, personal life, in your work life. Subscribe If this has resonated with you, check out the other videos. If you're looking to work with me in your work and life, if there's something that you want to shift in, either your career or in your relationships, check the link below. I'm always here for my tribe. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.